You're gonna go right and then left.
Okay, so, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I can do
we already
this.
here. And then get the hips.
So you're from Jersey, UMass, Giants. It's all one area of the U.S. It's all to the far right, like nothing to the left. What's going on with that?
I think it's just the way like the cards were laid out for me. You know, I'm from Paterson, New Jersey, like you mentioned, and I went to school. I went to college at University of Massachusetts, right up the turnpike there, and then to play for the Giants. Like if you would have told 10-year-old me like that I'd not only play for the Giants, but win a Super Bowl and have like a cool end zone dance that people love and pull up to me in supermarkets and ask me to do and things like that. But like, if you would have told me that at 10 years old, I'd be like, man, get out of my face. Like, you're lying to me. Like, there's no way I would have believed you. The fact that I, grew up driving by Giant Stadium and understanding the culture of the Giants and Bill Parcells and Jim Fossil and Tiki Barber and all these different guys that like to be a part of that cloth is just unbelievable, man. It's just literally a dream come true. Even just walking into the locker room as a free agent, like I hadn't even made the team. I was just happy to have a jersey. I would just holler at OC and be like, yo, like, what's the key? Like, what do you think I need to do? Or just ask him. He was like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep catching that football and everything else will take care of itself. And little fact is that I never had a jersey. I never played for any team at any level in any sport where we got our names on the back. Like I never had that moment as a kid, Little League, like that was a thing in Little League. Like, yo, you got jerseys with your name on the back, like that's crazy. But I've never had that until I got to the NFL. So to see that as a professional in my first game, just walking into the locker room and seeing my jersey hung up with like my shiny Giants helmet, I'm good. Like everything else now, it's just icing on the cake. I'm not supposed to be here.
When did you just fall in love with football as a game?
I think it was just in the streets as a kid. Like when you grow up on a one-way street with 6 or 7 boys all around your age, you have no choice but to be competitive. You have no choice but to figure out how to hold your own. Like you built that competitive edge and that love for the game right there in that moment. And I think I still remember the first time I flipped that thing up and caught it. And I like shook 2 dudes off and damn near broke my ankle out there. But like, you didn't care about that as a kid. You just wanted to score and figure it out. You'll deal with the consequences later.
Yeah, deal with the consequences later, absolutely, 100%. When did you think, oh, I can do this in college? And then was it when you were in college that you think, oh, I can do this in pros, or did that kind of start earlier?
There was a moment where football started to become like easier for me. Like the moves I was making and the things I was doing and playing the game would come easy to me. And I was kind of thinking like, okay, I think I can do this. I remember a game in the first half in high school. I had 5 touchdowns in the first half. I had like a punt return, a kickoff return, an interception return. And it was funny because I had 4 touchdowns and my coach was like, you're just playing second quarter, you're just playing defense. And I was like, all right, like I get it. First play on defense, I get an interception for a touchdown. And he was like, you're coming out, this is it, you gotta come out. And I was upset because there were other guys around the league that were having 8, 9 touchdown games. And I had 5 in the first half. I was like, yo, I'm about to be on pace here.
Right.
But I think it was that game that I started to, and my coaching staff and all my friends were like, you're different. Like, this is a different thing. Maybe I could do this on a larger scale. Maybe the pro level is something I should give a crack at.
Where did the salsa dance come from? How did that come together?
I think it was just like, well, obviously I'm half Puerto Rican. Obviously grew up in a Puerto Rican household with my mom and grandmother, grandparents. So my grandmother just grew up, there was always music playing, like whether it was, a Monday afternoon or like a Friday night, well, especially on a Friday night. But there's always music, and my grandmother would always show me bachata, merengue, salsa. We were always dancing, no matter what it was. And so in turn, at a young age, I learned how to dance. Like I learned all these different dances just because I'm in the living room with grandma. I learned all these dances, and then obviously fast forward to the NFL. I'm getting my first start week 3 against Philadelphia. During that week, I had a coach named Mike Sullivan who was Mexican-American, and he looked at me, he was like, what are you gonna do to represent your culture in the end zone this week when you get in the end zone? It's Hispanic Heritage Month, like what you got? And I'm just like, I'm just trying to figure out how to make this one route be the best route I could run and not drop the ball and be good. Like, I don't know what you're talking about right now. I'm not dancing. I don't know what you want me to do. And he was like, you got to do the salsa. You got to represent your heritage. Very first catch of that game, I run a switch route, get the ball on the sideline. Alluded to defenders, going up the sideline, 60-something yard touchdown. Like, I have to do this dance now. And I put the ball down and started breaking it down and started doing that salsa. And I just remember the Philly fans being irate and just angry and looking down. They might have threw something, I don't remember. But yeah, and then my grandmother saw it and she was like, you gotta do that dance for as long as you play the game of football. Wow. You gotta do the end zone dance. And I was like, I got you.
Can you show us the dance?
Oh man, this what we doing?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit.
But you gotta show, you're not off the hook either. You gotta get up and do it with me. Come on, let's do it.
So here's the thing.
Let's do it.
Your mama, Puerto Rican. My mama from Delaware. And
she'll be proud. Come on, let's do it.
She'll be
She'll
something.
be proud. Okay, we're gonna go right and then left.
Okay, so, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I can do
we
this.
already here. And then get the hips. See how the hip
game?
game?
See.
That's your Delaware. That's where Delaware come in?
That's where Delaware come in. Delaware.
You used to arrive at the stadium like full drip. And like I felt like you kind of set the pace and like set a trend that's kind of happening more and more now where you see the football guys. I kind of feel like the football guys were kind of like, I'll go to the game.
Yeah.
But you coming in high fashion, like how did that start?
I wanted to exude my own personality and my own style. I mean, Deion said it best, right? Look good, play good, pay good. And then there's more to that, but we'll leave it right at there. But yeah, so that, and then obviously seeing the NBA guys and all the attention they were getting walking in and like the way they were representing themselves, I was like, we need to have that too. There's stylish guys in the NFL, even, when I was playing and coming into the game, but no one saw us. Like, we didn't have a lot of cameras coming in. If you weren't the quarterback, you weren't getting the camera on you coming into the games. But now, we're looking at everybody. Like, that has become a thing. And I think I just always I wanted some of that like attention from the NBA guys. Like, look, we got some style too.
What was like a grail for you? And like, what was the first grail you were actually able to get? Because I remember mine, like the first sneaker that I really wanted that was above the budget. Like, what was that for you?
Mine was the Jordan Bread 12. Okay. I remember like it was yesterday, my mom's, literally borderline forced her to go stand on that line for me because obviously like I had to go to school.
Right.
But my mom would like literally call it, Ma, God bless you. I don't know what camera's on. I love you, Mom, because she literally like would miss days of work or like, well, not miss days of work, I apologize, but like she would come in late. Like she'd be like, hey guys, I'm gonna be about an hour late. I gotta pick up these sneakers for my son. And I'd be like, Mom's held it down. But it was the Jordan Bread 12. Remember everybody was talking about it. And it was definitely one of those shoes that like, once you pulled up in school with your Bread 12s on, people knew you meant business.
I imagine you have access to a lot of stuff, but what's something that was hard for you to get that you're like, I'm glad I got these. I had to work for these.
Something that was hard for me to get were my Taiwan Air Force Ones.
Oh, wow.
I wanted these sneakers for so long, but they only came out in China. At the time, there was no like StockX. There was none of that. Ronnie actually helped me figure it out, and I got the pairs. Man, I remember being so excited and just being like, I finally got these joints, and I put them up for a little while, didn't wear them, then I finally broke them out. Actually, not too long ago, and I was like, these are the pairs that like set the standard. Like these were different for me because that chase for that shoe is always kind of the best part of it. Sometimes,
You just gave away a bunch of shoes to kids. Like why?
I just think it's important for, obviously using this platform, not just to like get cool stuff and like sneakers and clothes and things like that, but using that platform to give back to the children and give back to the kid that you were. So now that I have this platform to give back, I want to take full advantage of it, man, and not just obviously give back to my hometown in Paterson, New Jersey, but across the world.
Are you attached to the giveaway? Do the kids know that they're coming from you?
Yeah, 100%. I'm very visible in Paterson. I pull up on those kids, man. I'm like, I'm coming back. I'm not just sitting here with the mic on the unveiling. Like, I'm coming back 2 weeks from now when y'all are in the mix.
That's awesome that you're going back and doing that. Like, I think that those moments are things that kids remember. Being able to like, oh, this is a shoe given to me by Victor Cruz. Like
Exactly.
that's going to mean something to them, and like I feel like that can spark something.
I want to talk about football a little more. There's kind of a new generation of football cleats now kind of coming out where people are kind of customizing football cleats. How do you feel about that?
It's about time, okay? I was preaching this so long ago.
Would you do a collaboration cleat?
100%.
I know you love Pulp Fiction, right?
Of course.
Pulp
favorite
Fiction,
movie.
right? So
You did your research, man.
I imagine
This guy's a professional here.
I imagine you do some sort of Pulp Fiction customization cleat thing.
Oh, man.
Can
That
you
would be dope.
put something like that together?
It would have to have John Travolta's hair in there, like that whole swag of him and Samuel Jackson's hair, like that whole. It's got to be almost like a yin and yang shoe to have like a John Travolta shoe, and like I'm giving out gems now. Look at this, Nike. If I see a Pulp Fiction capsule silhouette dropping, I'm gonna have a problem.
You're doing the ESPN, the analyst sort of stuff. How was that transition as a player sitting in that position? Because I feel like there's always a little tension there between the player and analyst sometimes. How was that?
It's been fun so far. I mean, I understand like how it works, right? Because like I was a player and I'd be looking at the screen like, you said what?
Yeah.
But that's because like they're doing their job, and I understand that they're doing their job, and it's just the nature of the business, just the nature of how things go. But it's cool, man. I just think it's as long as I'm myself, as long as I'm not pretending to be anything else or someone else, like I'll be good to go.
I know you've probably heard this before, but I think you've got a bright future. You've got a bright
Thank
future.
you very much. That means a lot coming from you. So thank you.
Football was really just the start. Thank you to Victor Cruz for joining us today on Restock. We have a ton of shows coming, and they're just as good as this one. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you very much, man.
I appreciate you
that.
coming and chat with me today, man.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Bro.
Absolutely.
What's good, y'all? It's Wayno, man on the streets down here in Soho, talking to a few people about sneakers and everything that's going on, as you can see. So Victor Cruz, he said that his favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. And if he did a Pulp Fiction inspired cleat, it would probably have like John Travolta's hair or Samuel Jackson's Jerry curl, right? Now, being that you out here grabbing all the exclusives, you getting the drops. Would you, if a cleat came out that was Pulp Fiction inspired, right? Would you cop it? Would you pass on it? Or would you resell it?
Probably resell it.
It would be dope, like not even the hair. You know how the dog walkers,
Yeah.
how they have a little bit of like the Dalmatian,
Right.
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
They could do the hair like that. That would be dope. Or the Dub Zeros where they have a whole bunch of designs.
Yeah,
Then they
yeah,
could
yeah.
have them like different parts of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's something everybody would actually love. That's an excellent concept, because if you ever seen the movie, nobody actually technically knows what was in that box.
Right.
So I think it would be an excellent concept.
Man on the streets, you here with Wayne on Complex. I appreciate you, brother.